Hello everybody, Hope Savara here with a Daily Dose of Hope. I'm going to turn off my computer here. I tried coming on through my computer through Zoom and it didn't like me this morning. I have to apologize. I am dealing with some sick stuff today in the last couple days, which is partly what we're going to talk about is what do you do when you are sick? What do you do when you feel like junk and you still got to do what you got to do? And I'll kind of share with you some of the stuff that I do to try to help myself move through the day and get over the things that, sometimes you can't control, cold or just, getting stuff that doesn't always feel great. And how do you deal with that? How do you help yourself keep your immunity up and strong and keep doing what you're doing? Hi, welcome. I am Hope Savara with a Daily Dose of Hope and Mother Trucker Yoga here on Chrome and Steel Radio. Drop in the comment section if you come to Chrome and Steel Radio on a regular basis. If you like the shows that we provide you here on Chrome and Steel Radio, let us know. Drop it in the comment section because those little hey guys, really make a big difference for us, and they let us know that, it's not just us talking to a phone or a camera for an hour or however long. But I know you guys love me here, so thanks for having you on. And if you have something that you want to say or talk about, drop it in the comment section, and I will definitely bring it up if it is worth talking about today. You know what that means. But I want to talk to you a little bit today about being sick. What do you do when you are just sick? And how do you help boost your immunity out on the road? So Sunday I woke up, I wasn't feeling that great, my throat just felt like it was twice the size it normally is, and I just made the decision then and there that I didn't have anything on my calendar, so I was just going to sleep. And that's what I did. And I slept for 5 hours. And I woke up and I felt much better, which was great. Monday I felt much better, Tuesday I felt much better, Wednesday I felt fine, this morning I woke up and it was back again. And I was like, dang you. And so now I'm going to pump up a notch here. And I'm going to go back to some of the things that I always like to do when I'm starting to feel sick. I'm a regular tea drinker. So that's what I have here today is my trusty tea this morning. And I like to put sulfur in my tea. It's just granulated sulfur because it helps detoxify the body and the cells. So that can help you if you're not feeling that great. And I also make sure I get my vitamin C. I take liquid minerals, so things like that to really help boost up my immunity because sometimes you just can't control everything. For those of you that know me, I'm not usually someone that likes to go to the doctor, so I really have to be really, really sick in order to want to do that. But I also wanted to talk a little bit today. I'm just going to pop this open. 1 second. Oh, we might have to go this way here. Let's see if we can do this. This is the beauty of the internet. I can pull up Chrome and Steel Radio's page. Let's see if we can do this successfully. Good morning if you are just tuning in. All right, here we go. Sometimes I forget what I'm telling you guys I'm going to talk about. All right, I also want to talk to you guys this morning about making tough choices. I have 3 kids. It is tough. It is tough to make good choices. I have a couple businesses, and it's how do you juggle everything? How do you make those choices? How do you know what to do? And I want to read you something. So I absolutely love this book. Have you ever been to Sedona? It's called The Call of Sedona, The Journey of the Heart by Alicia Lee. And it's a really good book. I've read it a couple times, but there's one passage out of here that I really want to read you, and then we can kind of talk about it a little bit this morning. And it says, human beings are capable of distinguishing between their true voice and their false voice. Everyone has this ability. It's just that not all people choose to listen and act upon their true voice. That's I know some heavy stuff for what is 9 o'clock in the morning for me, but I love that passage. And the reason why I really love that passage in that book, it's something I go back to regularly, is because how many times in life are you faced with a decision? Are you faced with an obstacle? Are you faced with what do I do? And it can become really challenging to differentiate between what's right and what's wrong, or what should I do and what shouldn't I do. And then we, think of all these scenarios of how things could go. We think of all these scenarios of what could happen, and it comes down to, what do I do? And so I don't know about you, but there was a big part in my life where it was like I would ask everybody else what I should do. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And instead of feeling like I had more answers, I felt like I was even more confused. So yoga came into my life, as many of you know, and I'm not saying that you have to practice yoga, but what I am saying is this whole idea of getting quiet, this whole idea of finding some time in your day. Hey Dave, good morning. Finding a place, finding a moment, 5 minutes, okay? Do not give me any BS that you don't have 5 minutes, because that is the biggest lie you can tell yourself right now, because we all have 5 minutes. But finding some time to get quiet, to detach from this thing that I'm talking to you on right now, to turn off all things and just sit. And here's what happens when we do something like that. And maybe it's not sitting for you. Maybe you're going to go for a walk, leave your phone or turn it off and put it in your pocket. I know sometimes, if you're walking somewhere sketchy, like, yeah, you're going to need your phone. Or whatever it is, go practice yoga, go for a run, go for a walk, whatever it is for you. But somewhere where you can start listening to yourself. We live in a culture, we live in a society that we are bombarded from the moment that we wake up to the moment that we go to bed with everybody else's opinions. And here's the thing. We're bombarded by them whether we want them or not, whether we asked for them or not. Have you ever been in a situation where it's like, excuse me, who are you? I never asked from you, but like, here they come into Facebook land or into your phone or into your circle, whatever it is. And we have to make a decision. If we want to reduce the overwhelm, if we need to make tough decisions in our life, and we're constantly looking outward, I got news for you. You're probably never going to be satisfied with the outcome if you're constantly relying on everybody else to help you make that decision. And this is talking from experience. Some of the best thrusts forward that I've had in my life have been because I had to go inward. I had to get very honest with myself, and I had to take what felt like a risk. A risk doesn't mean that it has to be expensive or anything like that, but I had to go, okay, I'm going to listen to myself. This is really scary. This is really uncomfortable. I'm not used to this, and I'm going to step out and do X. So I just want to encourage you this morning, this whole idea of, how do I know? How do I listen? How do I make these tough choices? Take a moment here right now and self-reflect on your life. How do you live every single day? Are you constantly on Facebook? That's one thing I really try to check with myself is like, there's an idle moment of downtime. It's like, I'm not grabbing for my phone or I'm not scrolling mindlessly. Like, do something else with your time, Hope. And it's not even that like, I don't have anything to do. It's just like this like mindless fill instead of just kind of going, okay, let's re-strategize. Let's shift. So notice that in yourself. Do you have any type of activities that you choose to engage in that bring you down a couple notches? Or is everything that you engage in highly stimulating? One of the things I recognized early on several years ago is that before I go to bed, really trying to be conscious that I don't go from computer, phone, or television straight to bed. And the reason being is your brain is not in like wind down mode at that point. That's why you lay in bed and it's like, oh, I can't sleep. Oh, I can't sleep. And then you're just like restless, and then you have the, oh, I don't sleep well, or I can't sleep. Well, there's a reason, my friend. There's a reason. Having that time for you to Whether it's read a book, listen to music, meditate, do a little bit of yoga, go for a walk, whatever it is, talk to a friend that is uplifting, not someone that makes you feel like crap when you get off the phone. My advice, probably not worth being a friend. Total side note, I have a friend where it's like every time I call this person, I just feel like shit afterwards. And it's like, why do I succumb myself to call this person? Because anything that is good in my life, anything I have going on, it's like, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. I can't do it. And so to make those decisions in your life, you have to start setting yourself up to make those decisions successfully. These things, my friends, are in your control. These things are things that you can change today. Today. I am not saying that everything that you want to change about yourself is going to be easy. That, stop eating junk food, start drinking more water, trying to exercise more, like stop smoking, whatever. Like these things are hard because they're ingrained into us. They're fixed within how we move through the day. But the first step to make any difficult decision, the first step in order to change anything about ourselves and about our life, is that we have the conscious know-how, the conscious knowledge to say, hey, I don't want it to be like this anymore. I have very little tolerance, very little, when it's like, oh, poor me. Oh, poor me. Because I lived that way a really long time, and I got to this place in my life where I was so disgusted with myself and so annoyed with myself that I actually almost took my life. And I channeled that uncertainty and frustration and emotional hang-up into yoga, into going outside more, into self-care practices. And my whole life I was told I wasn't worth it, wasn't worth it, wasn't worth it, wasn't worth it. I was no good enough. And I hear that sometimes from y'all, and that makes me sad. You, of all people, can't be the one telling yourself that you are worth nothing. Think about that. You can't control what comes out of everybody else's pie hole, but you can control what comes out of yours. And so when it comes to that point of needing to make a decision, needing to make a change, a shift, whatever it is, if you don't even have your own back, don't you think that that's just that much more difficult? And I've heard from many people when I talk with them, and truck or not, doesn't matter, we're all people, and then pipes in but this person doesn't support me, but this person doesn't believe in me, but this person. And I want to tell you that you can turn them off. You can choose not to be friends with them. You can choose to turn away, and you have to start listening to what you need and what you want and how you should be moving forward. That's just something so important, and I want to share that with you this morning because so many of us are struggling, and we don't have to be struggling. And not every day is perfect for me. Like today I feel like garbage, but I had to wake up this morning, and part of me for a moment when I laid in bed was like, I should just cancel all my appointments. I should just cancel all my coaching calls. I should just not pop on Chrome and Steel this morning. But I'm here because I know that making that decision to say yes to those things is going to help me take one more step forward. So if you're feeling frustrated today, if you're like, I don't want to eat healthy, I should just have a Big Mac, or screw the water, I'm just going to have a soda, I want to let you know that you can do this. You can make that tough decision. No one is going to put that in your hand but you. And you can do this. I want to share something else with you. Again, I love this book, and I thought, you know what am I going to share with you guys this morning? I was going to have a guest on this morning, but she's going to come on next week, and we're going to talk about healthy snacks and what you can eat healthy on the road and how you can make your own healthy snacks, which I'm really excited. All right, I have one more little thing I want to share with you, okay? This is like fireside chat, you guys. This is a lot of times how I roll with my yoga classes. All right. It says people who dream are already achieved in their hearts and can see that they boldly throw themselves into it. These people have true courage. Life isn't about sticking to the predetermined conventions. It's not like life exists somewhere in a form of a manufactured good, and you're supposed to discover it. Life is about following your voice, your true self, and inventing it as something all your own. And I wanted to share those two passages because I read in the morning some sort of something just to kind of get my mind clear. And that point where it talks about inventing yourself, it didn't occur to me until a few years ago that I can be whatever I want. And then people say, oh, but, you know, I'm married, or I have kids, or my job, or I'm too whatever. And here's the thing. You can do anything. It's just some things are really hard. And some things have consequences. Good consequences, or consequences that bring more heat. And you have to ask yourself if you want to endure them and move through them. I mean, think about anybody that has had massive weight loss. Do you think that they just woke up and was like, oh, this is so easy? Or someone that's built a multi-million-dollar business, or someone that's moved across the country, or whatever it is. Quit smoking. Told a loved one how they really felt about them. Whatever it is. Told someone that they needed help. Those choices were hard, but not impossible. And every time you make that next right decision, you reinvent yourself into your best self. So maybe this is like Motivation Thursday today, with a little bit of insight, with a little bit of, you know, how do I move forward? You know, how do I make the best out of a bad situation? Because when you start making those choices, when you start moving forward, when you start putting yourself out there, when you start trying to be the best version of yourself, there will always be haters. Excuse me. There will always be naysayers. There will always be people that are in your arena going blah, 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 that just for the sake of going against you will completely go against you. People that troll Facebook, that troll social media, that troll your community just to be negative, just to make you feel bad so that they feel better. And this used to really tear me up inside. I used to lose sleep over it for days. And I want to share something with you that if you're struggling with this, because I know for many people they reach out to me and it's like they share this and they know that I've gone through stuff like this. And so if you have a hater, if you just have people that is just, they have nothing nice to say, everything is negative. It's like, who are you? Where did you come from? I did not welcome you into my life. Please go away. And one of the best learning lessons I ever had was more than 15 years ago is my yoga teacher, my first yoga teacher, Swami Devananda. We would sit in a circle and have like philosophy chat and talk about yoga and life and different things like that. And someone would ask a question. And what do you think? We have this idea as a teacher. A teacher responds and tells you the answer when you don't know it, right? Like, how do you blank? Oh, you ... What do you do when this? Oh, you should do this, this, and this. And she would sit there. Oh, so annoying. She would sit there. And there would be this long, awkward silence. And she would look back at me or whoever asking the question and say, what do you think? Or I don't know. And those answers annoyed me. Those answers annoyed me because it was like, you're supposed to give me the answer. You're supposed to tell me what to do. You're supposed to help me. But aha. Several years later, and I had kids then, and life was hard, and I couldn't do all the things that I thought I was supposed to be doing. And I actually had talked to her on the phone and through email, And she reminded me that I have to make those decisions and I have to do what I think is right, what I think is best. And every single time I keep looking out for somebody else's opinion, somebody else's advice, somebody else's expertise. So you can ask for help, like what exercise program should I do? Or, is this movement safe for someone with bad knees? Or, does this fall in line with the Mediterranean diet? Or whatever it is. You can ask for help, but when you never look inward to answer those questions for yourself or go, is this a question I can answer for myself? How are you ever going to grow? So fast forward, we live in a world where haters and trolls and people that just thrive off of making other people feel bad. We live in a world like that right now. We can shut it off if we need to, but many of us don't. We have to be even more conscious as to what we expose ourselves to. And when those people project onto us, I like to call it vomit, we have to make a decision then and there. And so this happens to me. The more I put myself out there, the more I talk about things, the more I really try to move forward with what it is that I feel like I'm supposed to do in life. There's haters. And one of the things that I've learned from my teacher is that when we're young, like a little baby, okay? Think about like a little baby in life. Like we don't know how to respond. And when we need something, what do? We scream and we cry until someone comes and helps us. And so that used to be me. I would respond, okay, like vomit. Or I would lash out, or I would freak out, or I would try to get everybody else around me to like go and attack them. Like, hey, like that person's so bad. But I've learned. The bigger person in life keeps their mouth shut. The bigger person turns the other way. The bigger person recognizes that those words and actions are not really about them, rarely about them, but instead you're bringing something out from deep within them that they don't like. Maybe you're doing something that they want to do. Maybe you're friends with someone they want to be friends with. Maybe whatever it is. And so I want to encourage you, if you're listening to this still, to be silent more. To be silent more. To be still and sit with whatever discomfort that may come. I think we make our best decisions when we can sit with something for a while. Doesn't mean you have to sit for 5 days, but what happens if you just step back and sit for a little while before you say something, before you act on something? I'm a very by my gut type of person. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something. But I've learned that there's nothing wrong with 5 minutes of internal self-awareness. Is this really something I want to do? Is this something that's really going to benefit me? What if we all just did that a little bit more? I believe that we as a culture, we as a human existence, have the potential to be kind, to always be kind. Here's what I tell my kids. I'll leave you with this. My voice is going to be going out on me here. I'll leave you with this. I tell my kids all the time 2 things. 1, you're either a part of the problem or a part of the solution. And so when they do things that they shouldn't, or they're acting up, or my son's beating on his sister or whatever, I ask them, is this a part of the problem or are you part of the solution? And they have to answer me. And I ask myself this when I do things that maybe weren't the best, that really aren't helping the way that they could be. Hope, are you being a part of the problem right now, or are you being a part of the solution? And usually when I'm acting in part of the problem, it's because my ego is bruised. It's because things aren't going my way. Poor me, poor me, poor me. And I'm saying this because this is stuff I say to myself. And the last thing, the other thing that I say many things to my kids. The other thing that I like to tell them always is, are you helping or hurting? There's only two answers. You're either helping or you're hurting. And I've really come to understand the power of words, the power of intention, and the power of what I'm feeling is usually what I'm projecting. And this wraps back to this morning's first initial conversation, not about being sick, but about making tough choices and turning inward and listening. If you remember that passage from earlier, and we talked about human beings are capable of distinguishing between their true voice and their false voice. You can't hear that, my friends, if you're always busy, if you're always noisy, if you're always distracted, if you're always listening to other people, if you always have Facebook on, if you always have social media on, if you're always doing everything else outside of yourself. Yes, it might be uncomfortable. Yes, it might not be cool and trendy. Yes, people might look at you weird, but guess what? You, at the end of the day, are going to feel so much better. You're going to feel as though you're adding value to your own life and the lives of those around you. And that, my friends, is what we are here on this earth to do. So that's what I got for you this morning. A little motivation this morning more than anything. And next week I will have my friend Karen on, and we will be talking about, this is my son Ivan. Say hi. He has no school today. Say hi, Ivan. He's shy. I will be talking about healthy snacks that you can make out on the road. What are some new things that you can be doing to bring a little bit of pep and yumminess into your day? And we'll be talking about that next week. I want to thank Jack's Chrome Shop. Without Jack's Chrome Shop, we would not be here on Facebook, on social media, Chrome and Steel Radio. I also want to thank Mother Trucker Yoga. Check us out over at mothertruckeryoga.com. Come say hi. You can use the code MTY 2019 for 30 days free. So check us out, see what we're all about. Join our Facebook community, Mats to Gats, and I will see you again really soon. Bye now.